Welcome to Vibe Querying with MCP, the show where we don't just query data, we vibe with it. You might notice there's a couple unfamiliar faces here today. That's because we are taking over from your usual host, Jared and Marie. So sorry if you're missing them. We're going to do our best impressions. We got big shoes to fill, but we are taking over hosting the Vibe Querying series. I am Stan. I'm kind of taking over for what Jared usually does. I'll be the one asking, how does it work?
And I'm Cam, the one asking, what does it mean for the business? And each episode, we're going to dive into real data from real sources, looking for real insights and maybe find a few surprises. So let's get querying.
Yeah, absolutely. And so today's episode is all about chatting with your business data in Microsoft Teams. And so we are going to take the point of view of really anyone in your business that has data that they need to work with and query and analyze. And so we really think that this episode is relevant across whether that's your support teams, sales teams, your customer success teams. I think this is going to be really relevant to tons of folks out there. So we don't exactly have a special guest. I would say Cam is really playing both roles here of host and special guest. He's got some really cool stuff prepared for us today. Cam, why don't you share with the audience a little bit about what you've set up?
Yep. So I've been working in Microsoft Copilot Studio. That is Microsoft's agent builder, where you can build AI agents to complete tasks or answer questions based on knowledge that you supply it, whether that's related to your business or external data as well. And I've built an agent that's connected to the Connect AI remote MCP server, and we've connected it to Zendesk and Salesforce data. So that way this agent has all of that business knowledge. And then I've deployed that agent to Microsoft Teams. So you can chat with it just like you would a coworker, an assistant, or an analyst in your organization.
That sounds pretty sweet to me. So, I'm sure everybody's rearing to go, excited to see what goes into configuring it, and then we'll showcase the cool things that you're actually able to do with the Copilot. So without further ado, let's get right into the demo.
Yep, here we are. We are in Copilot Studio in the agent that I built. Let's go over how we connected to the remote MCP server for Connect AI. And it's a pretty simple process. We simply add a tool. In this case, we're using the MCP, Model Context Protocol, and we're going to go to the New Tool button and select MCP. We'll name the server, Connect AI, give it a description, and our server URL will be the Connect Cloud MCP endpoint. For authentication, we're going to be using an API key and using a header, which holds the authorization. Make sure I spell that right, the authorization header, and we can create. After you create this server, it's going to ask you to authenticate it with your API key. The API key in this instance is it's your email for your Connect Cloud account or your Connect AI account, and then the PAT that you configure in Connect AI. So that's the personal access token that lets you authenticate to the MCP endpoint. So here we can now connect it. We'll create a new connection with the API key. I've already got it all configured, so we're all set. And we can add this to the agent. Now, once this is added to the agent, you can go ahead and give the agent some additional knowledge through its system message or its instructions to kind of give it some more details about what's going on. So let's go to an agent that I already have pre-built that has all of those additional instructions that it could use to be helpful for querying data. So as you can see here, we have the tool already configured, Connect AI MCP. And in this case, we gave it some knowledge, let it know that it's an expert at using the MCP client tool using the Connect AI MCP server, and gave it a list of the tools that it can use so that it has some knowledge beforehand before asking it questions.
Awesome. So, seems pretty straightforward to set up. So is it right, Cam, that once you've done this, once you've set that up, it automatically knows what data it can actually access and query for you?
That's right. The MCP layer handles all of that. All you have to do was set it up and then deploy the agent. And to deploy it to Teams, you just go to the channels button in your agent and deploy it to your teams right here.
That's awesome. Seems pretty powerful, really giving anyone in your org access to natural language querying of your data at their fingertips, and they don't even have to leave Teams where they're already messaging people and already, taking their notes and everything. So it's just getting more and more convenient to really leverage this technology, it seems. So yeah, why don't we, what's next here, Cam? Should we take a look at what it can actually do for folks here?
100%. Let's get into this. We're in Microsoft Teams, and we are in the AI agent that I deployed in Copilot Studio and have shared to my Microsoft Teams channel, and now we can ask it prompts. For example, I'm asking it to show me my top 5 Salesforce accounts with the most currently open Zendesk support tickets.
That's awesome. And so as it's processing this, it's pulling this data directly from live systems, right? It's not just pulling some sort of static report. It's actually live data, the latest and greatest data from those source systems.
That's correct. It's doing actual API calls in the background. So these are actual Salesforce accounts that are current. This is very current data, live data from Salesforce and Zendesk. So now that we got those Salesforce accounts, let's find out some deeper knowledge. Let's ask another follow-up question to this. Which of those 5 accounts also have open Salesforce opportunities?
This is cool. So as this one processes, that means if it's able to do that, it maintains the context from the previous question. So it's not even like you have to you don't even need to add all the account IDs from the last question for this. It's remembering what you were talking about earlier in the conversation as it goes to pull these associated opportunities. Is that right?
Yep, that's the power of these AI agents. They're smart. They're able to pull context from previous answers or previous questions that you've asked it and reference them in follow-ups.
So cool. So obviously here it's like presenting a few account IDs. Do you think we could have it actually tell us the account names for those account IDs?
100%. We can simply just ask it, what are the account names for those 5 account IDs?
There we can see it chugging. See if it's able to churn out our account names here so we know which of our accounts has support tickets and renewal opportunities. There we go. Awesome.
Sweet. And now we can take it another step by asking another follow-up just to get a summary of what's going on with these tickets that have open opportunities and open support tickets for the same accounts. We can kind of find out what types of issues are these customers going through and find the pain points, because that's what really matters.
Yeah, so here, this is where we're really moving just from data recall to actual insights. And that's pretty powerful in terms of going a step further than what you would even be able to accomplish before the onset of LLMs and AI and being able to use MCP along with it.
Yep, and here we go. It gave us some good rundown. So as we can see, Green Mountain Medical Center, they don't seem to have any incidences. They just have some questions and some tasks that need to be completed. And then there's some other accounts like Pacific Trust Financial that are having some actual problems and incidents that probably need to be addressed by our support team. So those are the type of insights you get where you can dig into these accounts and find out which ones need to be escalated or handed to the appropriate team in your organization.
Yeah, you can really see how this would really save a lot of time for folks actually making things more efficient. And yeah, just making things that might take a while before and be pretty manual and tedious, and just immediately getting those answers through natural language. So that's pretty sweet. So what's next here? We want to do anything else we want to showcase? Any like a deeper dive maybe?
So here, not only can it answer questions and be an assistant for you, it can actually complete tasks for you in your enterprise systems. For example, I just got an email from Badger State University, and they're complaining that their Snowflake connection is failing and they need urgent help. I can just ask my AI agent, so I can go directly from Outlook to Teams and have it create a Salesforce task for the support team to respond to. It's that simple.
Oh, wow. Okay. So here we're actually not only asking questions of our Connect AI Copilot in Teams, we're actually asking it to take actions on our behalf and make and actually populate a task in our Salesforce instance with this prompt. Is that right?
Yep. It's going to query the accounts to find information about Badger State University. It's going to get a summary of the account to get a description about what the account is, probably how much money their revenue is or their deal size, if they have open opportunities and stuff like that. And then it's going to create a task linked to that account in Salesforce so that our support team can actively reach out and help them with their Snowflake issue.
That is sweet. Yeah, I mean, I think here it really just highlights the power of MCP. Something that I think we are always stressing. It's not just about reading your data. It's about being able to write. It's about being able to actually take actions on your behalf. So that's always just so impressive to see. And it's really cool to be able to do that within teams. It really, at this point, becomes like your teammate. It becomes a coworker that you can offload tasks to and save yourself time. So I think, with tasks like these, that's where you start to see some of the really cool value come in here.
And here we go. They went ahead and wrote us back already. The task has been successfully added to Salesforce for Badger State University and gave us details of what's going on. Gave a description of the account, a description of the issue that they're running into, and gave a diagnosis of what should be done. And that's also the power of AI. It's not just doing one thing after another and specific tasks. It's not completing specific tasks one after another. It's using intuition. It's being smart. It's doing things on the move in an agile way, which that's the reality of business. It's not as straightforward as it normally is.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, so I think what I really love about these examples that you've showed so far here, Cam, is they really kind of build on top of each other. Kind of at the beginning, we're just asking a question. We're just asking it to provide us some data. Then we actually ask it to summarize that data. So it's actually pulling out some interesting insights that, normally you'd have to think a little bit about or do a little bit of analysis on. And now here with this latest example, we're actually going a step further and actually having it take actions for us and put, objects into our Salesforce instance. And again, just take those actions right back to the source system. So seems really, really cool. Again, so awesome that you can do it within Teams. You don't even have to leave your communication platform in order to do all this. Anything else that we want to showcase? I mean,
100%. Let's go back into Copilot Studio and see what the agent actually completed when we asked it those prompts. So here we can refresh our activity log and we can go into one of these examples. So in this example, it got the prompt from us in Teams, and then it started running queries. Off the bat, it ran into an error saying that the schema name was wrong. So it intuitively got the schema name that was correct, and then fixed its query to ask the query successfully. And yeah, we could just see it chugging along, going through, querying data, getting catalogs, and then in the end, giving us the answer that we needed, completing its tasks.
I'm going to say it's really nice to have that visual representation of the flow that your agent is taking in order to fulfill your request. And obviously, really nice to have that observability into the exact queries that are being sent on the back end and the responses that are being returned. So that's sweet. Really appreciate you walking us through that, Cam. That was awesome. I think, covering every aspect from setting it up to asking it just for some data recall sort of prompts, all the way to getting us some insights and drawing some insights, using that intelligence to actually summarize the findings, and then finally, wrapping it up with a nice example of actually taking an action for us and putting a task into Salesforce on our behalf. So with all of that, you're really getting an AI-powered teammate that can do all sorts of things for you, save you all sorts of time. And the great thing is that you don't sacrifice anything in terms of observability, understanding what's going on in the back end. So you have all the insight that you need into what's going on. So that's, again, Cam, thank you so much for preparing that for us today. I think that pretty much wraps up today's episode, right? Am I correct? Awesome. Okay, well, huge thanks again to the Cam for setting that up and walking us through it. Even bigger thanks to you all for watching this episode. We're at the big number 10 of the Vibe Querying series here, episode 10 here. So we're excited. Hope you're enjoying the ride. If you want to see what your data is saying, check out Connect AI at cdata.com/AI. They do offer free trials for the Connect AI platform, and that is the solution that will unlock all of these really great things and cool things that Cam just showed you. So get started today. Visit that URL again. It's www.cdata.com/AI, and you can set up your own Microsoft Teams Copilot powered with Microsoft as well as Connect AI, with all of your data, access to all of your business data, whether that's Salesforce, Zendesk, or any of the other data sources that we support in Connect AI. Any closing words here, Cam?
Yeah, and come hang out with us in the CData community, as well as check out our Vibe Querying subreddit, as well as our Vibe Querying series on the CData website. We're sharing prompts, demos, and all kinds of experiments like this to really take advantage of Connect AI and our MCP capabilities here at CData.
Awesome. Yes, please do check us out on all those platforms. Thanks so much again to Cam for setting this up and joining us today. I mean, we'll be back again for our next episode. It'll be the same two faces you'll see. But again, huge thanks to the audience today for coming and checking us out. Until next time, stay curious and keep vibing.